Welcome to the Watering Hole. We're sitting down today with Mr. Ross Clayton. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. How are y'all?
Doing great. So you get to play Battle of the Bands again tonight. You played, what week did you play?
The first week. Yeah, Chase Holtum, and then Dakota
Murillo.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Shame on me for not remembering. But we were lucky enough to win that round, and that was the first round. So it's been, 7 weeks, almost 2 months since we've been here.
So how did it feel to come in here, play what I assume is the first time you played at the Tumbleweed, right?
Yeah. It's the first time I played. It's awesome. I mean, you hear of everybody that comes through. I know a lot of the guys that come through and play here, and I just haven't quite, made it to that level yet. And just a thrill to get asked to come play on that stage. It's history kind of in Oklahoma, This stage is big time stuff. So
where are you from originally?
Originally from Chicago.
Really?
I was born and raised in Evanston, Illinois, which is it's like Edmond to Oklahoma City. It's just the first suburb north. Yeah. And but I moved here. I moved to Oklahoma about a decade ago. So
really?
Yeah.
For work or family?
For my wife.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So have you been scoping out the competition for tonight? Have you looked into any of the bands? Or?
Not much outside of just what I'm hearing at Soundcheck. I've looked at a couple of them, looked at what they got on iTunes and just the music that they've got out there, and it's all really good. It all is. There's a lot of dynamics in it. Like everybody's kind of doing something a little bit different, doing it their way. Somebody, some of that muddy bluesy rock, some kind of mainstream country, some a little more folky. I'm excited. So I looked into them a little bit beforehand, but mostly what I'm hearing is just at Soundcheck right now for the first time. I try not to worry about what everybody else is gonna do. I try to just worry about how I do my thing, and if I do it the best that I can, that's all I can do.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And
well said.
Hopefully the people like it. So
yeah. So how would you categorize your sound coming into this?
It's a good question, and it's hard not to sound like I'm a little bit bluesy. I'm a little bit country-ish. It's kind of like that's probably the lane as I would describe it. It's got a lot of blues influence, a lot of rock influence, a lot of country influence, and then influence from just all kinds of other places too, just random stuff that I've picked up along the way. And so I would say, if it were a Venn diagram, like the biggest side of it would be in country, would probably be the heart of it, but it's all coming together with a bunch of other stuff. So
that's great. So. So you're coming tonight. You won the first round, and so say you win tonight, and then you win tomorrow too, or not next week too. And you got to pick what day you would play at Cat Fry. What day would you pick?
That's a great question. Probably Saturday, right? That's the headline day. I think I would love to play. I mean, that's the big day, but I don't know. I haven't memorized the schedule yet, so I don't know who's headlining each day.
So,
but I would love to play with Stray Sons, share a stage with them. That would be cool.
You got Shane Smith headlining on Thursday, Flatland on Friday, and then Giovanni and the Higher Guns on Saturday for reference.
Giovanni would be
Thursday.
Awesome.
Gio's on Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got those two flipped, I guess. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Gio would be awesome, and then Flatland. That would also kick ass. Yeah. Honestly, just getting to share the stage, just be on the Calf Fry stage. Yeah, that's enough for me, man. Any day as a part of this festival, playing music, that's what I'm after. Yeah. Sure. But some of those acts, like Geo, Flatland, those guys, they're tearing it up right now. Yeah, and they're so good.
Are you a Cowboy fan, or is this kind of to help with crowding?
I'm actually I'm just trying not to get in trouble. Yes, but I'm actually I'm a Northwestern fan, which I know
what
who no Big Ten Northwestern because I'm from Evanston and then I worked there for like 6 years through high school and college, and then a little bit after college I worked at Northwestern. So that's my number one. But then when I moved here, you got to pick a side. And my father-in-law played for the Cowboys. And cool. I wasn't about to marry his daughter and then come in and be like, I look better in red, And I don't. I look better in orange and black. So.
There you go. Cool.
So yeah, and I also, I don't know if I'm gonna get ripped for this one, but like I'm also a Cubs fan, so I know the plight of the underdog, and I root for the underdog. Yeah. That's who I want to win. It just always feels better when the underdog takes it. So.
Can I get some water before we start this one?
Here you go.
Tastes that much better out of a Bad Brad's cup. Hey guys, it's Rhett from the Watering Hole Podcast. We want to tell you about Bad Brad's Barbecue, the longest running sponsor of this podcast, and we really can't thank them enough for that. Bad Brad's has all kinds of dates coming up. I've got a list here all the way into the fall, when they're better. Emily Hollingshed, winner of the Battle of the Bands, one of the top 3 finalists. Cade Roth and the Black Sheep, they're also going to be playing there coming up. Lowdown Drifters, and for you comedy fans out there, Uncle Laser is coming right here to Stillwater to Bad Brad's Barbecue. You got to check it out. When you come see one of these awesome shows at Bad Brad's, you have to try the food. I'm a fan of the jalapeno cornbread and the smoked brisket, while Jagger's a huge fan of the dirty fries. Try one of those out. Tell Vernon we sent you. And we can't thank Bad Brad's enough for sponsoring this podcast.
I have a friend that I work with that he's from Michigan, and he came down to help start the Oklahoma State Hockey Club.
Yeah.
And he plays for him. He just played his last game the other day. They actually played in the BOK for Bedlam.
No way.
They said they had that thing packed out too. He said there was I forgot how many fans. He said it was like 5,000 fans there or something like that. He said it was a really cool experience to play.
Hockey's a lot of fun. Like going to a game in Chicago is unlike any other sporting event, and it's the same arena as the basketball arena. They keep the ice. They roll the basketball floor over the ice. Like when there's a basketball game, when the seasons overlap, they so the players always say like the floor is really cold. Because it's like, it's insulated and stuff because the ball's got to be able to bounce, but it's at least not good. That's over they roll this big thing out, and it's pretty dope how they transition it. But
that's really
cool. You don't get a lot of hockey around here, unfortunately.
Yeah. So we spent a good portion of this podcast so far talking about sports. Let's talk about your music a little bit.
All right.
So
do we have to?
Come on.
So do you have any more songs coming out here pretty soon? Or?
Yeah, so I've got a batch of songs that I'm kind of working out that I'm going to put out, I think, as another EP. When I got home from The Voice this time last year, I had a couple songs ready to go that I released. And then I dropped a single called Junkyard Heart about 4 months ago. And then now I've got another batch that I'm getting ready to release. But I've been writing in Nashville a lot and focusing more on building a catalog of songs. I like the writing and the production and the creation element that happens kind of behind the scenes. I love performing, but I love being part of the creative process, creating the songs that get performed.
What was your experience like on The Voice? And would you... If you could tell your prior self to do it or not do it, would you do it or not do it?
I would 100% do it.
Okay.
It was so much fun. It was a lot, it was taxing. You're out in LA for a long time. If the farther you make it, the longer you're out there. And I made it to the playoffs, which is like top 20. And so I got to perform 4 songs, 4 episodes, and it was so rad getting to see how the sausage is made right in Hollywood and be like a pseudo celebrity, and then getting to perform on a stage like that with a band like that is unlike anything else. I mean, it's a dream come true, right? You're playing with one of the best bands in the world on a sound stage that's 150 feet high, and there's cameras flying all around your face. It's primetime television, so it's really cool to see all that.
Who was
be a part of it.
Who was your coach?
Niall Horan from One Direction.
Okay.
So, I got all 4 chairs turned around, and
Who were the coaches at that time?
Kelly Clarkson, Chance the Rapper, Niall Horan, and Blake Shelton. It was Blake Shelton's last season, season 23. And it was so cool. But I chose Niall Horan, all 4 of them. Niall, it was this whole big show. He got up out of his chair and came down and talked to me. It was really cool. And on the actual audition episode, they only show about 2 minutes of him talking to you, of the coaches actually giving you feedback and talking to you. But you're there on stage. I was there talking to them for actually 25, 30 minutes. And they trim it way down. So you get a lot of time with them, which is really cool. You don't just get shooed away, once you're done. You actually get to spend some good time with them. And so after all of them did their pitch, their sales pitch, I went with Niall, because I had started getting into his catalog, and he and I have kind of the same background. I have a little bit more country leaning background, but both of us sort of grew up on, and he's 30 now, so we're, I'm a little bit older than him. I'm 34, 33 at the time, and so we were pretty close in age. And when we sat down to talk for the first time, immediately, we were just like Eagles, Bob Seger, Tom Petty. We just started listing off and jamming and playing the same songs, and it was really cool.
That's kind of interesting, because you always wonder what are those people listening to, and it's kind of interesting that they're listening to something like that. I don't know.
He's an old, he's kind of an old soul in that his favorite music is that era of rock and roll, that 70s, 70s, 80s, early 80s, kind of American rock, and he's from Ireland. But he was telling me his first concert he ever went to was the Eagles reunion, and he's just been obsessed with that. And I think he said he wants to make a rock album, that sort of album. I hope he does it. But
so how is it structured? Is it fan voting?
Fan voting. So the coaches get the team down. So it's coaches for the first 4 rounds. My season, anyways, it's coaches for the first 4 rounds, and then the 5th and 6th round. So the 2 final rounds are fan voted. So the coaches whittle their team down, and the first. So there's a audition. You're up there alone. Then there's a battle round, which is a duet you do with somebody else.
Tumbleweed Dancehall. Hey guys, it's Rhett from the Watering Hole Podcast, and we want to give a huge shout out to the Tumbleweed right here in Stillwater. The Tumbleweed's been a huge part of our podcast and helping us get artists. And of course, as you know, they put on Calf Fry, as you can see behind me, one of the greatest festivals around. And that's the episode you're seeing right now, is what we did at Calf Fry, thanks to the Tumbleweed. They have all kinds of concerts lined up. They are closed during the summer, but time fall comes back around, they'll have a great lineup for you. I really wish we could share some details on that, but you're going to want to stick around to hear that. Thank you to Tumbleweed Dancehall for sponsoring this podcast.
Somebody else. And then the coach picks the best one or picks whichever one they want. I don't know. I wouldn't call myself the best by any stretch. I've battled Laura Littleton, and she's amazing. But he picked me. And so they pick one from the battle, and then other coaches can steal, and they get one steal and one, they get all these little tricks to keep people around, and so so you do the duet. I won the battle, and then you go on. So you're always sharing the stage with somebody until the final rounds, because the coaches pick and choose their team until you're down to final 4 or final 5, which is what we had. And then he picks 2 from the 5. So kind of like this, like a battle of the bands. You start with a bunch and whittle it down. But yeah, it was a thrill, honestly. It was so much fun. Nerve-wracking, I try not to I don't typically get nervous. I get excited for stuff. I don't mind stages. I don't mind public speaking. I never really have. But I was nervous for that.
Yeah.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah.
Do you have a merch? Do you have a merch company? Someone that does your merch, or
No, I bought Oklahoma Shirt Company in Oklahoma City. They do it, but don't have a merch store set up right now. I've been pretty lazy on that. I need to get that created. I've been really busy on playing live and then writing songs and just getting in the studio as much as I can. Trying to get a
we got the
catalog
perfect people for you.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
We have a sponsor, CH Lonestar.
All right.
And have you heard of them before?
I have not.
Okay. So they'll do like shirts, hats, all the basic stuff. They'll do socks. They'll do bags, like anything you want done.
Would be a killer merch
they'll
item.
do it.
Yeah.
Underwear, whatever you want, they'll do it.
And banana hammocks.
So the way
the Ross Clayton banana hams.
Yes.
I love it.
So the way they do it is like they'll make everything, ship it out for you, so you don't even have to touch it. And
Hook
then,
it up, yeah. And then they just take it. Well, yeah, I won't spoil it
so
all
we
for the
did
camera.
we did these shirts.
Yeah.
And so we sent them like our logo, which is similar to this, but a
Uh-huh.
little more complicated. So they kind of simplified it down for us so that we could make it feasible to put on a shirt. So they'll do graphic design for you, like a little bit of everything. He was saying earlier, like anything you wanted to put a logo on, they'll probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything humanly possible, I guarantee you they're going to slap a little logo on it for you and sell it.
And they
I'm
do
sold
like
on banana hammocks and socks. That's my two merch. Like fuck hats and shirts and koozies and stickers.
and they work
No,
with like
ceiling fans.
Red Clay
So-
Strays, Tree Acre Revival,
Nice,
people
yeah,
like that. So
they made this
you could
Cody
Cody,
West
yeah.
shirt.
you
too.
could bring a new line of products though with your ideas
Yeah.
here. Like we can
See,
make something
I
happen.
think we start to get real creative. with
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
We're gonna need 10%.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
that is a fair
Right off
trade.
the top.
Ross Clayton ceiling fans. Ross Clayton. We can. Yeah.
Now
we
if
get
you
weird.
do a ceiling fan, do you make it to where when it spins, it has
Yes.
the image?
Yep. It's like that floating
Yeah.
hologram thing. Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Just
It's
my
him
face
with the
banana
looking
sock
down
on.
on you in bed. That's what everybody wants. At least that's what they tell me they want. So
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't doubt it that whenever people come to your shows, they're like, I want a ceiling fan with that guy's
this guy
face
makes
on
me
it."
think about like a breeze.
Yeah.
How do I make fans of all varieties? RC on them.
And then in the wintertime, I can go flip it around the other way. So it takes
You know how
the
many
cold
people
air out.
don't know that?
Really?
Their fan goes the other way.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, in the winter, turn it on.
Yeah.
And they're like, why would I have the fan on in the winter if I don't just want to move air?
Yeah.
Like, because there's more to it than that.
Yeah. It'll suck the
Draws
cold
the-
air.
yeah,
and
exactly.
then move the hot air down. Yeah.
And people do. Yeah, I run into people all the time. I guess that's like sort of implying I talk about ceiling fans a lot.
I was gonna say,
I
you
don't.
seem
I
like
don't
a
want
very
anybody
big
to
ceiling
think-
fan guy.
That was what came to mind. I don't know.
Exactly.
I had a gummy earlier. Maybe that's why.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I don't know why. I'm a ceiling fan enthusiast, I guess. This kid can sing. I've never heard that
What
before.
songs are you going to be playing tonight?
So I'm going to be playing a song that's actually going to be released. It's part of this batch called So Damn Loud is my first song. That one's going to be coming out here pretty soon. I'm playing a song called Comin' Down, which is like a country rock Oklahoma anthem. It's pretty funny. Like every band that's played, I sound checked, has had their like Oklahoma tune.
Yeah.
It's like a battle of the Oklahoma band, like sound. They're the songs. And then I'm gonna play a song that we actually played on the first week, which is called "You Can Get It," and it's like a honky tonk. It's like a very '90s honky tonk tune that I love. I wrote with some guys down in Nashville, Johnny Woods, who's actually an Oklahoma artist, and then Wesley Davis at Warner Chapel in Nashville. We wrote that there on just a couple hours, and it came together as like this awesome throwback honky tonk tune. So I'm excited to play that one for you guys tonight, and I think that's it. So yeah,
Well, we're excited.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I think
it's
it's
gonna be
gonna be a tough night.
Yeah.
It's like
dude,
Yeah.
the judges have their work cut out because
Yeah.
there's a lot of talent up there. Like, like I said, I try not to worry about what everybody else is doing, but it's hard not to now when there's so much ass being kicked on that stage. It's
I think it's very underrated the amount of talent that Oklahoma and
I know.
even Oklahoma, and I mean, like the Stray Sons, they're from Amarillo, so
Yeah.
like people that know about this place and come and play here, I think this whole venue is very underrated.
It's like a hidden gem, really.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is because it has such good Oklahoma artists come through. They're very regional, you know, and this region, not just Oklahoma, but I'll focus on Oklahoma for a moment. It's so funny. I feel like there's like a renaissance kind of right now in Oklahoma music. There's so much coming out, and what's funny is there's always been a lot of artists that come out of Oklahoma. I mean, if you go look at the Country Music Hall of Fame, it's filled with artists from Oklahoma, but we couldn't keep them because we couldn't foster a music environment. So they are, and I know that Nashville is the king of, Nashville's the country music mecca, but
Country music.
yeah, but it's got, that everybody has to leave Oklahoma to have a big career, and not just touring wise, but like there's not a lot of those big artists that are anchored here in Oklahoma anymore, or until they retire or something like that. But now, Oklahoma's moving the needle in terms of music and arts support, and there's a ton of music coming out of Oklahoma and more venues popping up, and it's really cool. A lot of the people that I play with, a lot of the artists that come through here, you see them, they're all teaming up and going out on the road together, and they're getting huge followings from that. It's really cool.
Yeah,
it's really cool to be part of it.
Well, I think they just wrapped up their sound check, so I think that means you're up next.
I better get tuned up.
Thank you for sitting down with us, and maybe we'll catch up with you at Cat Fry.
Yeah, man, that'll be exciting. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
awesome.
Thank
you.
Awesome.